Okay, so our situation, the resistance in our inductor depends on the length and diameter of the wire we're using for the coils, right? Inductance depends on the diameter and number of loops in the coil. Okay? Now, we are making an assumption here that the magnetic field throughout the interior of the coil is equal to the magnetic field at the center. Okay? It's not true, but it's a ballpark assumption. Okay? We're just trying to figure out if we're going to be able to observe this thing. Okay? To observe that this really is an inductor, that it behaves as an inductor, that it attenuates signals like an inductor does, that it has the same type of effect on an oscillatory circuit if you drive it with a function generator, hoping that we can get one to work right. Okay? And the one we have that works right at the high frequencies has the wrong kind of cable. We have to have an adapter, and we don't. So maybe we'll get one in time, maybe we won't. Anyhow, so the time constant is the time for the signal to fall to 1 over E, right? Or 0.37 if it's strength. Now, you got a little confusion on that. Is it R over L or is it L over R? Okay? You might be asking because I wrote it down wrong one time, but let's just figure out what this means. If as you can easily verify, if the time is L over R, then you're going to get e to the -1, which is 1 over E, which is what we're talking about, right? So that's why L over R is the time constant. And it should have units of seconds, okay, or units of time. So anyhow, that's what we have here. If then, just posing a quick question, if R is 10 ohms, L's 10 millihenries, then what's the time constant? And what do we have? Do we have anything that you've had your hands on that would allow us to observe this signal? Now, if we had a decent oscilloscope, well, we had one, but it worked for about 3 hours and died. So it probably wasn't a decent oscilloscope. We could observe it, but we don't have an oscilloscope right now. Okay? So with what we have, which is the vernier interfaces, do you think we could observe this signal from your experience with those interfaces?